Hi, my name's Bill Tingle. I'm with Keller Williams, Santa Barbara. And what we're going to do is we're going to handle 3 seller objections. But before we get into handling them, I'd like to share with you the 4 steps that anyone should use in handling any objection. I don't care if it's a seller objection, a buyer objection, a spouse objection, or a family objection, or a friend objection. This is one of the skills of communication that helps with handling objections. And to share it with you, I'd like to demonstrate it for you on a chart, and I have the chart with me right here. And here it is, handling objections. The 3 objections, by the way, we're going to handle is number 1, I want to save the commission and sell the house myself. Number 2 is they want to use a discount brokerage company, a company that's only going to pay 3%, 1%, $5,500, etc. And we have those companies here. We have one company here in Santa Barbara that only charges $5,500 to sell their house on the listing side. The other objection is going to be when someone says to you, well, I'd like to interview real estate agents to find the best one. So those are the 3 objections we're going to overcome. Before we do that, let's look at the 4 steps of handling objections. Number 1, clarify the objection. The way you clarify the objection is you restate it in your own words. You don't restate it identically to the way the seller said it. You do it in your own words. For example, they say to you, I want to sell the house myself and save the commission. All you really need to say is the cost of selling your house with a real estate company seems to be of a great concern, doesn't it? See, I put it in my own words. Another way of doing that is you could say, you know, I can appreciate how you feel. I've had many clients that felt the same way, but you know what they found? They found that by selling their house to someone who's looking for home sweet home, they can not only pay a commission, but still get more money for their property. See how I clarified it? The next step is to introduce related benefits that outweigh the objection. So when you think about it, what outweighs the objection that I want to sell the house myself? What do we have that would show them that they would be better off listing their house with a full-service real estate company than trying to sell it themselves? And when you think about it, there's 2 things that come to my mind. A related benefit. Number 1 is there's only 2 kinds of buyers. One is called an investor. I like to call them bargain hunters. They'll offer, one thing they want to do is save the commission, but beyond that, they're going to offer you as a for sale by owner 15% to 20% less. And I'm sure you wouldn't sell your property for 20% less than what you want. The other kind of buyer is someone who's looking for home sweet home. You can't put a price on home sweet home. Who's looking for home sweet home? Generally speaking, it's a family. And they're going to scour the internet, they're going to scour neighborhoods, they're going to look at advertisements, and they're going to find an area that they feel they'd be comfortable in. And when they do, they're going to call their real estate agent. Why? Because it's the biggest decision they've ever made financially in their entire life. And they want help. They need help with financing. They need help with all the paperwork. They're concerned about the condition of the property. They're concerned about the location. They're concerned about the neighborhood. Is it safe for my family? Oh, and they're concerned about school districts. So there's the related benefit right there on overcoming that objection. And then it says you reinforce it. In other words, you say, so in other words, can you appreciate what I'm talking about here? What somebody who is willing to pay the highest possible price is looking for home sweet home? Right? Yes. And then I close it. I simply ask for the commitment right then and there. Or I trial close it. And if I trial close it, I'm going to ask for an appointment to come back with a CMA and talk to them. So that's how you do the 4 steps of handling an objection based on I want to save the commission and sell the house myself. Stop. This seller objection has to do with the discount brokerage companies that are here in Santa Barbara. One of them only charges $5,500 for the listing. And so we're going to handle that objection. And as you know, the first thing we do is we clarify the objection. We clarify it by restating it in our own words, not in their words, in our own words. And that is very simple. The cost of selling your house is something that you're very concerned about, and you want to put as much money in your pocket as you possibly can. Am I right? Now, to introduce a related benefit, you know, there's some things about these discount brokerage companies that we can use that will show that they'd be better off listing with a full-service real estate company than a discount brokerage. Number one is this. If you were a real estate agent that worked for a discount brokerage, would you rather sell the house across the street that's listed for 3% or 6%? Or would you sell one of your own listings and only get $5,500? The answer is obvious. The second point is this. When you open up a real estate office, the minimum that it costs to run a real estate office in Santa Barbara, and that is, I say a minimum again, is $25,000 to $35,000 a month. There's no way I can cut costs in that. But there is one place I can cut costs, and that's in the advertising. That's in the marketing. And that means when I list a house for only $5,500, I am not going to do very much marketing at all. In fact, point number three. Point number three is that they're going to ask you, that's why in the words of the companies, the name of the companies, assist to sell, help you sell. That means they want you to do the open houses. In addition to you doing the open houses, they want you to find a buyer. Oh, and by the way, if you want to advertise, you can go ahead and advertise as well. And once you get the buyer at your house and you get their name, their address, their phone number, you call your real estate agent, and what does he do? He's going to come over and sell them, if he's available, that is. You can see that that can create a huge problem, and it does in many cases. So by, looking at what they have to offer and what a full-service real estate company like Keller Williams has to offer, there's a huge difference. Because we can get you the highest possible price in the time frame that best suits your needs, because we market and we attract different ones who will pay the highest price for your property. What I like to do is maybe sit down with you and let's go over some of the things that we offer at Keller Williams. Could I do that? Great. Let's sit down at the table, can we? This objection is the one where you go on an appointment and they tell you they'd like to interview agents. To me, this is probably one of the hardest, because it means that they've called your office and asked you to come over and do a presentation. They're interviewing agents. The first thing, once again, you need to do is clarify the objection. And that's simple. You're looking for an agent or interviewing agents so you could find the best one that'll suit your needs. The one that'll get you the highest possible price, keep an accounting for you as the process goes by, and help you in all respects in that regard. Am I right? Yes. Now I need to introduce a related benefit. And what is the related benefit that I can give them? It's what Keller Williams has to offer. What do we have to offer? Think about it. It's not just everybody has MLS, everybody can advertise in newspapers, but look at how we are worldwide. We can use the internet, and we do use the internet. And when someone contacts us from the internet, we can actually get a hold of them within 5 minutes. There's your related benefit. And your presentation should be high quality, because you're probably not going to get the listing tonight. It's going to be a 2-step or a 3-step when you come back. And then you reinforce it. We at Keller Williams, here's what we've done. We've sold this many properties in our office. This is what we do in the neighborhood, and all the things that I've explained to you. And then you simply close it. And this is probably going to be a trial close. And the trial close is going to be to come back for another appointment. And when you come back for the appointment, you'll be able to sit down at the table of negotiation and ask for the order, ask for the listing. Thank you. So what I like to do is I like to invite an agent that works with us here at Keller Williams, Santa Barbara. His name is Dave Johnson. And Dave, come on in and introduce yourself, would you please? Hi, Dave.
Hi, David Johnson, Santa Barbara, California, Keller Williams. I work with Bill here in the office, and he's asked me to join him working with the scripts.
Good. So he's going to play the part of the seller. I'm going to play the part of the agent. He's going to give me the objection that he wants to use a discount brokerage company. That discount brokerage company, by the way, is a company that does exist here in Santa Barbara. They only charge $5,500 on the listing side of the commission. So that's the objection. Are you ready, Dave?
Let's do it.
And I'm going to call him Mr. Johnson throughout the demonstration.
Well, Bill, I appreciate what you're saying, but XYZ Brokerage told me that they would list my house for a flat fee of $5,500. So I think I'm going to give my listing to them.
Wow, when you think about the $5,500 compared to the commission we charge, you're looking at thousands of dollars, aren't you?
You're right, it is thousands of dollars.
You probably feel like it'd be a big savings to you. You'd be able to put more money in your pocket.
Well, on paper, yes.
Well, could I share with you some things about discount brokerage companies?
Sure.
Well, number one, if you'll notice, there's a couple of companies here in Santa Barbara. One of them has the word in it, discount. The other one, or assist, I mean. The other one has in it, help. So they're going to assist you to sell your own house. They're going to help you to sell your own house. What does that mean? It means that they want you to do the open house. They want you to find the buyer. And when you find the buyer, you give them a call to come over and write the contract. So they're going to reduce the marketing, is what it boils down to. There's a second point, too. If I was a real estate agent working for one of those, what we call discount brokerage companies, you know what I would do? I would sell the house across the street.
Why is that?
Because if I sell the house across the street, I would make 4 times the amount of money. And I wouldn't want to sell the listings that belong to the company I work for, because I wouldn't make any money. That's point number 2. Point number 3 is this. When you think about opening up a real estate company in Santa Barbara, California, at a minimum, the cost is about $25,000 to $35,000 a month just to open the doors. That pays for the rent, it pays for the phones, it pays for the desk, it pays for utilities, etc., and the list goes on. They can't cut costs with rent, phones, that sort of thing. The only place they can cut costs is in marketing. So they're going to reduce the marketing of your property and get you to maybe do some advertising, to do open houses, so you can find a buyer so they can come over and sell your house. And that means your house is going to sell not as quick as it should. It's going to be on the market a while. The longer your house is on the market, you reduce the exposure, the lower the price is going to be. Does that make sense to you?
That does. I've never thought about those points.
You know, what I like to do, Mr. Johnson, is this. Rather than to say, hey, you should make a decision to list your property with me, I don't want you to do that right now. What I'd rather do is I'd rather go back to my office and do a complete competitive market analysis, find out what all the houses have sold for in your neighborhood over the past 6 months that have the same size, square footage, condition, etc., and share that information with you, and then let you make a decision as to what you want to do. And there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever. Could I do that for you?
Yeah, no harm in that.
Great. Would Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon be best?
Oh, the afternoon, please.
Okay. Afternoon, 2 o'clock?
Yes.
I'll see you then. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Now you've seen the 4 steps on how to handle an objection. You clarify, you introduce related benefits that outweigh the objection, you reinforce the related benefits, and then you just simply trial close it. You could be wondering, where did he get this? How did he learn this? And I'd like to show you how I learned it, where I learned it. I first became licensed in 1973 in Arizona. In 1979, a real estate franchise company, which had 28 offices in the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, they asked me to be their sales trainer. I'd never been a sales trainer in my life. But from 1979 to 1980, I met with 5 of those real estate brokers. And we took a whole year to put together the Personality of Success Sales Training Program. With those 28 offices within a 2-year period, we became a force to reckon with in Phoenix, Arizona, believe me. And we were so well known, simply because of our training. And I'd like to share it with you. Okay. So this is what the ingredients of a successful real estate salesperson looks like. 50% of your success is personality. There are 3 major traits to a personality. It's physical, social, and mental. Physical traits are what you look like, how tall you are, etc. Social traits are who you associate with. And many times people will think that if you just associate with and all your friends of the upper class, that you'd be a success overnight. But you know that's not necessarily true. When you look at mental traits, 93% of your success is based on mental traits. Let's put it a different way. The 100% personality is 50% of your success. 93% of that 100% personality deals with mental traits. So what is a mental trait? A mental trait is how you feel. It's an emotion. It's confidence. It's your desires. It's your assertiveness, aggressiveness. All sorts of different types of mental traits. And they're important. I've seen so many real estate agents fail because they didn't have the confidence that they needed in order to accomplish the goal of becoming a successful real estate salesperson. And why? It wasn't because they didn't have a personality. It's because they didn't have the mental traits needed to be a success. So how do you get more confidence? How do you get more desire? How do you get more self-discipline? Especially in the field of real estate, is you use the foundation that's below it, the knowledge. The foundation of success is based on knowledge. For example, 15% is product knowledge. What is our product? It's real estate. We need to know everything there is to know about real estate. How to write a contract, how to write a listing agreement, financing, how to, location of real property, condition. All of these things are so important, and as we obtain this knowledge, that we then put it into practice so we can build the confidence that we need. Another one is 15% is understanding human engineering. A lot of people call it body language. Some look at it and say, well, it's determining the attitude of your client that you're dealing with. In reality, there's only 3 kinds of attitudes. A person either has an attitude of acceptance, an attitude of indifference, or an attitude of objection. And that's where communication skills come into play. Because if you have the communication skills, you know exactly how to understand the human nature and attitudes of your clients. Communication skills, probably one of the hardest to learn. Because it's how to communicate, the 5 skills: how to question, how to close, how to use a reinforcing statement, how to handle objections, how to conclude a contact. There's 2 kinds of questions, 2 parts to a reinforcing statement, 3 parts to a close, 4 parts to an objection, and 2 parts to conclude a contact. So let me ask you this. If there wasn't a question, I could not ask. If there wasn't a close, I could not make. If there wasn't an objection I could not overcome, would I be more successful? Better yet, I'd be a lot more confident. And that's the trait that I want to have. Where do I get it? I get it from knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of success, and it's the foundation of developing the mental traits that'll help you become a successful real estate agent. Thank you for listening. I'd like to thank you for watching my video, and I would also like you to know that I would love to meet you at the family reunion next year. Let's exchange cards and get to know one another. At the end of this video, there's going to be a picture of my card. On the card, you'll see my email. If you have any questions at all about the personality of success, have any questions about communication skills, please feel free to email me, and I will email you back with anything I can help to offer. In the meantime, we'll see you at Family Reunion next year, and have a great success. This is Bill Tingle, Keller Williams, Santa Barbara. Thank you.